Hello, hello. Welcome to GCS Seasons 2.5 Week 1 and Week 2 analysis. So, my name is Asteria. I'm here with Ritty.
Hello, hello.
And lastly, I'm here with Cena.
Hello, hello. It's good to be here.
Yeah, welcome, guys. So, I'm going to be your host. We're going to be kind of going through the Week 1, Week 2 games, doing some analysis, some opinions. So, our first game is going to be BBB versus Zoomers. So, we got the Burning Baboons versus the OK Zoomers. So, for game one, kind of a little bit of a stomp, if I am being completely real with you. So,
On
Mr. Ritty, what do you think here?
Yeah, the game is quiet for 9 minutes. I can see that Zoom got like a little bit of a goal lead. We got like maybe like 500, and then bam, like straight after 10 minutes, like they really brought in the baboons and like just popped off. Um, yeah, I mean,
Honestly, it was a super rough game for Banana. Egro Poacher was just running his pockets the whole game. Elias really showed up on the Zinzao, and like once the Jinx started to get ahead, it was just kind of over for Zoomers. Now they did almost throw this entire game. Um, so are we okay? Are we gonna do the tier list now, or are we gonna do the tier list like a little bit later?
we can do it
We'll
later,
see.
but
Okay, cool.
you
But I think
Do you want to
I
restart?
think okay. I
Ready?
think
nah.
Okay.
okay,
I
I
know. I don't know if
think
you're planning on like editing it.
so I think even though Burning Baboons did have a pretty decisive win over OK Zoomers in this game one, I don't think they're out of choker tier yet.
Yeah, and that leads us to game two, where once again, it was kind of a little bit of a stomp. Um, the Burning Baboons, once again, a little bit quiet for a little bit, initial early game, and then they just completely took over. That Lee Sun ganks left and right. The Ezreal being able to output damage without much threat to him between the back line of OK Zoomers. And it just kind of looked like as time went on, goalie just continuously extended little by little. Hard for OK Zoomers to actually be able to find a footing this game. Just kind of looks like a Burning Baboon fest.
Yeah, absolutely. This was Elias's game and everybody else was just in it. The least in absolutely everywhere.
I do want to say Jim is thickest went mid lane this game. This he's usually a support player, so I'm actually pretty surprised. This is how it came out. I mean, it's nice to see some role swaps. I know Banana's on his signature Kale trying to carry the game, even though up 2K, it's kind of rough seeing the rest of the map just on fire, but he did his best.
Yep, he
That's just
definitely tried
Kale.
his best, but yeah, a little bit hard in
I mean,
general.
damn, 70 CS. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Really, really hard. Banana tried to hold it up, but when you have a 6K gold difference in your jungle alone, it's a little hard to make up that kind of ground.
yeah. So all in all, tough game. Both teams fought hard, but a little bit of Burning Baboons just kind of deciding that they want to win this really hard, taking the reins on it, taking every objective possible, kind of keeping up and just blowing the goal lead out of the water, ending the game nice and quick. All right. So that brings us to our next series. So we got AFK United against the Too Easy squad of Feeder Town. So moving into game one over here, just look at that graph. Just look at that graph.
I
I
I when I saw this graph, I thought I was like, okay, cool, and then I see Feeder Town win, and I'm like, wait, I'm like, how did this happen? I
yeah.
I think while I do have Burning Baboons in like that suspected choker tier, AFK United is without a doubt solidly in. They are chokers. They are chokers.
Dude, what
How do you throw a
is
12K gold lead and lose?
460 CS is
You
crazy.
have you have you've got three mountain drakes with a Shen and an Umbessa. Wait, no, those are the bans. I'm stupid. Oh wait, you have three mountain drakes with a Cassante. How do you lose that game?
Like I know Alun is a really good AD carry. Every time we see him play, it just is a masterclass on wave management and just straight up aggression. But holy, Alun managed to stall this game out forever and just take the reins. When he did show up shocked at that gold graph. And that brings us into game two. So game two,
Um,
good.
this one was definitely a stomp for Feederton. I'm willing to bet that game one did not do great things for AFK's mental. Because this one was just Feedertown's game through most of it.
Yeah, kind of
it felt like AFK was low-key checked out. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I don't blame them. They definitely tried their best. They got a lot of kills onto the Ezreal, but it's just very hard for Ezreal to be able to do anything to this team comp. He's constantly running from the Olaf while the Caitlyn decides to shred his front line. Hui also creating space for his carries to actually be able to go in. The Nico for tower dive potential in lane. Just kind of very difficult for the Israel to be able to kind of carry this game. But all in all, Feeder Town kind of coming in swinging after that first game. Confidence boost, I'm sure, after winning that one. And a big mental destroyer for AFK United. But they managed to come away with the win. And that leads us to our next match of week one, which is Frozen to the Core versus the Bone Zone. So going into game one over here, it's pretty even back and forth for the most part, and FTX struggles to close it out despite being ahead by double the kills for most of the game. And it kind of leads to a big engage at about 30 minutes where Cody and Pandemonium just murdered their entire backline. They managed to get picks, and that just leads to FTX taking game one nice and clean.
Super clean game from Biomatrix as well. He played the lane phase really well, and bit of a low light reel for Romeo that game. It was a bit of a
Romeo.
rough watch.
Yeah.
It was a rough watch. He just could not protect Majin from Cody and Panda.
All right. Going to
Ritty,
next.
do you have any thoughts?
No, just a Biomatrix Masterclass. What can you say? Season 2 winner right there.
Definitely
Still
a Biomatrix Masterclass. We're going to keep seeing more of the Biomatrix Masterclass as we go on. But yeah, kind of going into game two, I mean, this kind of speaks for itself if you just look at this gold graph. Fucking Zachary Aatrox just decides to go ham every single time he is on the map.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this might be like God's worst teemo game. I don't know who the hell you're gonna like blind, but and even if you're in Terry's face, like I think you're just dead. Triple marksman. Triple marksman is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what Frozen to the Core was kind of cooking up here, but I gotta say, Zachary
just have some fun. So
Zachary won his lane. He won the 1v2 between the jungler and the top lane, and he just decided, I'm gonna win this game off the back. Like this is completely me. I'm gonna win this one. So he's there for every single fight. He's able to close this one out in 22 minutes.
I have a little note here on this side that says, "Thank God it's fearless," because I would have to ban this Aatrox after this. I would be scared of going against this.
Yeah, this is
for game 3.
Crazy scoreline. All right,
and then
3.
Another great game, a super clean game from Naki as well. 11-0. He showed up and he let Luton know what was up in mid lane.
Yeah. In general, big like scrappy team fights in the early game, early to mid game, and Naki is just like in a position to carry this game, and it's looking so good. Just look at the scoreline; he was 15-1, but like the problem is Norskin's Lulu and FTX's like just general tankiness with their comp was just able to prevent like a lot of crucial assassinations, and Naki just ends up deathless for most of this game until 35 minutes, where Cody's able to shut him down and catch him without a dash, and they just take it to the house. They take the Nexus, they take the wife, they take the kids, they take everything. They take the series 2-1.
That's crazy. 8K gold
Honestly,
lead almost.
I think my favorite game to have watched was the week 1 Frozen to the Core Bone Zone. I think that one was just really. I think that was just fun to watch. It was a lot more scrappy than the other games. And then game 3 was just the kind of slow ramp, and then just exploded, and then it was over.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Naki did their best to kind of claw it back and be in a good position, but it's really hard when you have Lulu Polymorph, Lulu Shield, Lulu Ultimate to be able to kind of peel off of the LeBlanc. But still, Naki managed to hold this game out for a while until it just was one slip up, and then that was it, unfortunately. So Frozen to the Court takes the series 2-1. And that's going to lead us to our next game. So we got the Wings of Freedom versus the Mickey Mouse Club. The Mickey Mouse
I think
Clubhouse.
I think Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is a very apt name for this team. Um, just super dominant performance from Different and Richard Meepo. The sexy shawarma blitzcrank just didn't know what to do at all. Return of Kaiser managed to have a pretty solid game on the Diana, but it just wasn't enough to make up for how strong Different had gotten.
Yeah, I mean, different ex challenger AD carry. He has the knowledge to be able to push gold leads and just kind of take over games. And this is kind of what we saw this game. He picked a nice familiar bot lane for him between Ashe and Seraphine, and he just decided I'm going to win this lane. And even though they did do their best between the Nidalee to kind of shut him down, it's very difficult. You have a big beefy front line of Mordekaiser and Zen who's just going to completely disrupt everybody. And Diana just wasn't able to make the picks that she needed this match, and Different ends up walking away with it.
I'm pretty surprised that Aurora didn't do well. I'm not sure if this is Wassel or a different person, but I'm pretty surprised we went Leanders this game. I think if you pair up with Diana, this is actually a pretty good Aurora game to kill bot lane on repeat. But as you said, Sexy Shawarma looking pretty homeless on the Blitzcrank, so
Yeah,
yeah, it was pretty unlucky.
resulted in our second 6K gold difference of this game between Different and its Groovy. Little unfortunate. Nice part about being super fed is your team doesn't have to worry about being Mordekaiser ulted. The bad part is you will get Mordekaiser ulted, and if your team will lose or win on their own merit without you. Um, and when they're this far behind, it's going to be a loss.
Yep, definitely a difficult position for the Diana. Did her best, but not quite enough. That's going to lead us into game 2 here. Um, kind of a big goal difference here as the game went on. Pretty short game, all things considered. But in general, Wings of Freedom just kind of walking in and taking names. Smolder being able to kind of rack up a ton of kills, a ton of stacks nice and early, builds a commanding CS lead, and just kind of take over the game. We had a Graves pick on the side of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and it was pretty effective for the early game, but it just wasn't able to kind of snowball the game as much as they were hoping.
10 towers, 2 inhibs. Like, damn, Mickey Mouse only having 1 drag. It's pretty unfortunate.
Bit of an unplayable game. I think this game, like with AFK and Feeder Town, after that game 1, the mental was gone. They couldn't find a win anywhere on the map this one.
Yeah, they definitely did their best to grab some picks along the way, but in general, just so many members of Wings of Freedom, just really strong, very high scaling team that won early game. At that point, the game's kind of over. You're doing everything you can as Mickey Mouse Clubhouse to just try and steal something away, grab a pick on somebody very important. But in the end, we got a death cap on the victor nice and early, so they were confident they wanted to close this one out, and they did. It was a very quick game all in all.
Yeah, dropping Rurika dropping the death cap second item is absolutely diabolical ego.
You have to be so confident in yourself
It
in
paid
that
off.
game to just say that we're gonna win this game right here and now. Death cap second.
A 3K gold and you use that 3K and bought a
Big
death
baller
cap.
move.
Honestly, I can respect it. Big moves.
Very big moves. All right, kind of wrapping up week 1. We got the post week 1 bracket over here. So our next matchups are kind of displayed. Got the lower bracket with AFK United and OK Zoomers. Potential elimination here. Pretty important. Even though a lot of these teams did get knocked down to the lower bracket, they're still really strong teams all in all. So these matches are still going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
It's
they
going to take
definitely
us.
can prove themselves, and yeah, you'll see what happens. But
No spoilers yet, but we're going to move on to week 2 here. And that's going to take us to our first game. So we've got Too Easy of Feeder Town versus the Burning Baboons. And Game 1. Ooh, hell of a start. I will just say that right now. Feeder Town stacks up Bush level 1, and Burning Baboons decide they want to invade. And what ends up happening is Burning Baboons loses 2 members. Wait, one moment. Ah, all right. I got this slightly wrong, so we're gonna walk that back. So, um, Feeder Town catches 2 kills and gets 4 of 5 flashes out of Burning Baboons. So an absolute disaster initially. It's very difficult for them to actually start the game off that way, and it puts FT in a strong position, especially with Leaf's Wukong kind of commanding the early game with a lot of ganks. Leaf does eventually get solo boloed by Ilia's and Zhao, but it just doesn't matter. The bot lane fights are brutal. Most of the kills go to Alun's Kaisa. And just looking at that scoreline, 17-3, Nami supporting the Kaisa, typical hybrid build, it's just very difficult for Burning Baboons to be able to kind of shut down this Kaisa, let alone catch her by herself. And yeah, even though they do their best, Burning Baboons, to actually like stall the game out at around like 25 minutes, Alun just stacks, calls a death push, everyone stacks it, and they manage to kill the entire team and just close out game 1 with a pretty dominant showing.
I don't know how Owen does it, like, playing Enchanters with Kaisa. Like, I swear, every time I see either Millie... I mean, I guess Nami's, like, more of the ones that you would want to play with Kaisa, but...
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an absolute masterclass. Like, props to him, and... I mean, the rest of the team definitely held their weight, so... Yeah, it was an easy game 1.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, kind of.
Oh.
whoa. We're moving a little too fast there. All right, so that's gonna lead us into game 2 here. Leaf, Alun, and Lubina, just the team comp in general, is just screaming, I want to play bot lane for early game, and that's exactly what they do. Leaf comes down, and they manage to dive Frictor's Soraka like really early in the game. I think it was level 2 or level 3, and that's just setting up the Lucian for success at that point. MC managed to go and like support for jungler in that dive, and also in a different team fight for the first dragon, and it just sets them up for success. So the rest of the early game is pretty quiet, and FT secures a second Drake, and they turn around a really scary engage with Elfire coming down on his Ornn to try and help out Burning Baboons, but the fire's already started, and that fire's not going out. So ends up happening is FT kind of gets like a lot of fights, and even though Burning Baboons turned this around quite a bit with a lot of fights around the dragon, it's very close in kills for the most part. But what ends up happening is the Lucian just kind of takes over a lot of these fights. There's no one really to shut him down. There's no one to be able to jump into the back line safely and survive the Malzahar ult, the Jarvan ult, the Camille ult. So Lucian just gets a lot of space here, and Loon just masterclass.
You've got 3 super important lockdown ults, and then you've got an Alun with Emilio. So even if you do manage to get onto him with the Ornn or you land a Xerath stun, it's just Emilio R. Now he's back to full health, no CC, and you have nothing left in the tank for him.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, a little rough one.
Feels like, I mean, if I had to like choose a draft, I mean, I don't hate Burning Baboon's draft, but I guess they were just down too much gold.
It's just so hard to play with the Lucian ahead, right, Ritty?
Right, yeah. All right, you want to go next?
Let's go next. Let's go next. All right, I need to point this out. Burning Baboons decided to start the Otacon a little early.
Yeah.
I don't quite know why here. It was a post-play opportunity, I understand that, but their Master Yi jungle is kind of in the base. And the Jarvan Leaf just kind of rolls up and is like, oh yeah, this is all me. And he jumps in, he finishes the Otacon. He does go down, but just getting this Otacon is so much gold, so much experience, that it's just very difficult for like the general team to be able to shut the rest of the team down. The team fights just become so much easier once Otacon's taken. So yeah, all in all, good game, but still very rough one. Leaf kind of having a big showing on the objective taking and general bot lane play. Alun, I mean, we keep seeing this guy. He keeps coming up. He keeps performing. Doesn't matter what bot lane they're playing. they're just going into something that they're comfortable with, and they're just shutting down their opponents time and time again.
Double QSS, the tax, the mouse R tax. But
Yeah. General tanky build from the Yi2 with I forgot the name of the item, but
Experimental hexplate.
that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
an item.
Really tried, but you can only alpha strike your way out of so many spells before you just get Malzahar ulted.
True.
Yep. All in all, a bit of a rough game, and that's going to lead us into our next match here with FTX versus the Wings of Freedom, and this is probably my match of the week. So it starts off initially with Cody and Hamea, so Darius and Oriana, kind of just finding a pick onto the Mundo. And Richard Meepo, although he did his best at the Mundo jungle, just had a bit of a rough game. Starting off the Darius with a couple kills is very difficult to kind of play around. And this just ended up being a bit of a masterclass from Mr. Cody. So a lot of top lane fights, a lot of objectives taken, and Cody just kind of walks away with the game. Like who sideways against this Darius safely? No one.
Kled is just gonna int against him on repeat. Kiana can't do anything but tickle him. Mundo's just gonna die on repeat. You've got to send at least 3 people there to try to deal with Darius, and there's still a solid chance he's gonna get away with at least a kill. And if you got the Xin Zhao there, you're just throwing away the game.
Yeah, different, try to go more like tank killer build, but it was unfortunate. I think you probably built Bork last then, right? If you built Kraken PDIE.
Yep, it's just very difficult to be able to like do damage to this team. Like Ghost on Darius, Xin Zhao, Pandemonium, Xin Zhao, just kind of like finding picks left and right all game. It's very difficult for different to be able to play this one out and carry from the bot lane. And this was just kind of a masterclass game.
30 kills on the top side is absolute masterclass. So yeah, props to them.
Yep, props to them. Frozen to the Core played very well in their first game. Bio just went even, which is really good to see. He understood that I don't need to hands off. I don't need to do anything, and that's exactly what he did. He built a good tank killer build. And he just kind of chilled while his team won the game for him.
All I have to say is like, Bio after draft, he's like, yeah, I'm going for vibes, friends, and then like honestly, he has like a sleeper team. Like, you would expect like different Enrica to like do like really well, but yeah, they pulled up this game.
I think when I made my first initial rage bait tier list that first week, after we had done draft, I said, I was like, Frozen to the Core has the potential to be a powerhouse team, but it all depends on if Panda can connect with either Bio and Cody, and Tomea can prevent himself from running it down. I feel like if Bio and Panda and Cody can start to get that momentum going, they're going to be a really, really difficult team to stop.
For sure. All right. So going into game 2 over here, this is just a bot lane fiesta for most of it. I'll be completely honest with you. Looted and Different just choose violence. They keep going for engages left and right. Just in general, although the scoreboard is a little messed up because they did mess up the draft swap, it is still different on the Jinx and looted on the I believe the Alistair. Let me double check. I believe Alistair, yes. So yeah, he's been playing kind of every role here, but yeah, I got some screenshots over here. But Luna likes to play around with the waves a lot, and poor Different over here, even though he's like building CS left and right, like CS slates, Luna just likes to kind of fuck up a little bit there, which is always fun to see.
He's a farmer at heart. What can he say?
It's true. He's an AD carry player at heart. But yeah, all in all, I will say that Wings of Freedom here, they do very, very good at being able to kind of like stall out the game in general. There's a lot of picks on like the what do you call it? There's a lot of picks onto FTX around like the top lane that kind of set up for like Barons and forced FTX into very difficult positions where they have to take fights that they're not necessarily prepared for. And all in all, both teams just played very macro orientated for most of the game. They were just taking towers and fighting specifically when there was an objective to fight for rather than just for the hell of it. So this is a really good game. Like if you told me this was KT T1 Grand Finals without the nameplates on, I would probably believe you. They played very, very disciplined for the most part.
Super disciplined game. I want to say that this and then OK Zoomers versus AFK United, this was actually our lowest kill count game um between both weeks so far. Only 32 kills total on the board. They had just a big objective game played around bot lane.
Yeah, definitely a very good game. This is one of my favorite series I've seen so far, and I'm expecting to see a lot more for both of these teams about that kind of style of play. It's very interesting to see. But going into game 3, I mean, the goal graph kind of speaks for itself. Kind of a slaughter, but there was some back and forth in the early game. Hamea initially, like level 1, walks up a little too far mid lane, starts a little dance battle, and naturally, Luden chose violence and decided he did not want to actually let the dance battle go through. So they managed to catch freebie onto Hamea, and Mr. Different starts the mind games nice and early. He posted all chat. He says invade successful, and I respect that. I respect a little bit
I
being there.
respect that.
I respect that.
Hamea tries to for the first time ever, Hamea tries to have fun in a tourney game and he instantly pays the price for it.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, just looking at kind of this scoreboard over here, I mean, Difference, Vayne, and Bios, Kaisa, they get set up very well by Luden's Nautilus and Norskin's Renata in the early game for a lot of 1-for-1s, but then at some point, Luden just decides, this is my time. I'm going to start engaging on repeat. And Different decides he wants to choose violence as well. And they just start fighting left and right bot lane. And those 1-for-1s that they're initially having just turns into double kills for Different. And they just keep stacking. There were 2 straight up double kills back to back that just set Bio behind in a really bad spot. And he just struggles to catch up. And at this point, this is a different match. This is a different, just completely taking over. Every single fight, he has like the space from the volley bear, from the Sejuani, from the Anivia wall, and even Luden's Nautilus ult to be able to kind of just do whatever he wants. And it's true, he just kind of took over. Um, the best way to describe it is he had a gun and he was really itching to use it. He took a lot of fights after that laning phase. So, I mean, yeah, all in all, FTX fought back this game. They tried to take picks, but Different strikes the final hour, and FTX for FTX, and he
Teemo
takes out 3
curse.
members. Ah, yes, the Tebow curse. Winless so far.
I don't think they should be looking to draft this team up for Pandemonium anymore if they want to hope to make it to finals.
Yeah, I don't know where the Timo idea is coming
I mean,
from
I don't
for the
know
most part.
who's supposed to like frontline, and if people say Galio, I mean that's not enough. So
Yeah,
it was
Yeah,
it's not
Galio, and then they could say the Olaf, but without another beefy frontline to back him up, the Olaf kind of just gets taken apart like a piece of paper.
yeah.
Yep. I will mention that Sushi Man and Luden did steal the pentakill opportunity away from Different, which is very sad to see. I was hoping this was gonna be our first pentakill, but unfortunately, they had different plans, so they took that. But Wings of Freedom send Frozen to the Core to the lower bracket, but I'm still excited to see what Frozen to the Core got. They had a good showing, but just fell short. All right, that's gonna take us to Zoomers versus AFK United.
Really just
Yeah.
this game kind of
devolved into Banana Zoom's top laner just perma trying to play like just trying to 1v1 and Bessa. But Haxor's I think realized like yo we have double scaling bot lane, so he path top and punished Banana a lot, getting early kills. I don't know what happened mid lane, but mid lane was like down like 40 CS at like 12 minutes, and also they wanted to fight Grubs, and he misses QE, and AFK gets an early lead. Otherwise, yeah, after that, just Aurora Wukong Masterclass, and then Bessa started like matching Banana, and Jinx got kills. It was a pretty quiet game, to be honest. It just was like very thought over. I think Axor's definitely like just controlling the map, playing where he needs to be, and yeah, it was a pretty pretty convincing win from AFK. I think Zune just kind of did their own like solo queue strats, and if it worked through Banana, it did. Otherwise, no one else could really carry this game.
Yeah, I mean, in general, AFK just played discipline. They looked for kills. It wasn't the highest scoring game in terms of kills, but they just built leads elsewhere. I mean, 230 CS to 155 is a hell of a lead there. Although the bot lane CS is like fairly even, the Jinx ended up on the good side of a lot of these plays, and that was a lot better for her to be able to kind of be in a position to do a lot of damage.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's gonna take us to game 2. All right, Ritty, talk to me.
Yep. All right. This was just another banana kale. Can we get to level 16 without my team losing? Probably not.
And the answer was no. The answer was no.
I will say,
I mean,
like, Haxor, he failed his like 3 camp. He like, I was like, okay, I'm like, why is he level 2 and recalling? I'm like, oh, he smited red and then reset, and I was like, okay, well, nice. And then it was just pretty quiet for the first 5 minutes. Just banana in top lane, trying to make stuff happen, and level 6 fight goes around bot, and Haxor gets a 20 ult and kills Sivir and Janna, so, and kind of goes from there with Azir just getting like kills. I don't know what the exact ranks from mid lane, but the Azir just got like a ton of gold and kind of just took away with this game.
yeah, and I mean, I was getting a little bit worried around 30 minutes or so because the kill did come online. The kill was able to kind of start doing a lot of damage and made this a little bit
They did
scary.
get Baron. Zoom
They
did get Baron, but they were too excited and ran down mid and ran it down. So, and also they were focusing Corki instead of like Azir, which is at this point of the game, like Azir is the strongest member on their team.
Yeah.
And it was pretty unfortunate. Like their target selection was pretty bad, so it was just unfortunate. A lot of these plays that Zoomers had were like decent picks, but sadly it was mainly on Karma, which they couldn't really translate too much on. So props to Banana, but the game kind of just evolved into bot lane fighting when they were trying to make a play topside, so it was unlucky.
Yeah, definitely unlucky game, but all in all, pretty good showing from AFK United over here. No Teemo picks, so we're happy to see that.
A lot of Sejuani's though. I'm actually pretty
A lot of
surprised.
Sejuani's.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of teams here looking for picks, and Sejuani, a very solid jungler to do that. But yeah, that's going to lead us into our next game, a very exciting one. We got TVZ, the Bone Zone versus the Mickey Mouse Club.
My favorite series.
And they forfeited.
And Mickey Mouse Club choked so badly they didn't even play the game.
And
Yep,
didn't get
I
a
mean-
single win in this tourney. Unfortunate.
Yep,
I think
I was told that there was a lot of like they were trying to reschedule back and forth, but I think Mickey Mouse would always have a sub somewhere, and they said they were just gonna call it and just move on. So it was just unfortunate. Would have loved to
Yep.
see their entire team play together because half of them are friends from other draft leagues, but it happens. Like it is an off-season tournament. Like if it works, it works. If it doesn't, move on.
Yeah, it's very sad to see that they didn't get a chance to actually show off a little bit more, especially with the name of the Mickey Mouse Club. But I don't blame them for forfeiting. I watched the Bone Zone's first week 1 game. I would have forfeited too. Yeah, kind of some closing things here. We're gonna go into tier lists. So we got some people to kind of drop a tier list. So Luden himself, the big man at the top, we were curious of what he thought, so we roped him into this too. But yeah, all in all, he's got some solid picks there. But I have to say he's a little bit wrong. Got some of these personally.
I
That's
think
just me.
a lot of it, Lunan wanted to make an F tier for Mickey Mouse. He just forgot to do it. I mean, nothing is crazy between his tier list besides Cena putting a Loon's team too easy and not finals material. Would
now
like
I
your
would I would say that Too Easy as of yet has not been tested against very strong teams.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, we're coping.
I can't confidently put them at the top. I think they're very good. I think my only change that I would make is I would move Too Easy up to first loser for that beast for that like A tier slot. Um, but honestly, I just think Wings of Freedom has had really strong performances in these past 2 weeks. So I think they've definitely got what it takes.
See, that's funny because I have about the same take, but specifically for a feeder town. Um, I think they've been doing pretty good all in all, but I don't think they've had like the strongest opponents. And Burning Baboon has had like some good showings, but it hasn't been as clean as it could be. And I think Too Easy has kind of been able to like single-handedly win their matches very easily. It hasn't really been like the biggest challenge for them. They've been having really good showings, and they have very obvious strong parts of the team that they like to play through. And all in all, I think Too Easy is probably one of the best teams up there. I think Wings of Freedom, um, probably my number one pick. I think the match against Frozen to the Core kind of showed that they're very flexible on how they're like to play. They have lots of different drafts that they're willing to do, and different is well different.
Yeah,
I think.
I
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I definitely think that Wings of Freedom being able to not be forced to exclusively play through their bot lane and play through different in order to get wins is definitely a big strong point for the team. There's
For sure.
a lot of the times where you have your high like your high elo player is in that AD carry role, you end up focusing a lot around bot lane, which can kind of leave your top lane kind of just left out to dry. But still a super strong performance. They've been able to play through all three lanes to pull out these wins. Sushi Man's been holding it down. Richard Meepo has had like either a kind of shaky performance or he's done really well. And then
It's been 50-50. It's
yeah,
50-50. Which Reaper
but
Richard Meepo do you end up getting? That's kind of what that
yeah,
is.
it's do you get the 5-2 Sejuani Richard Meepo or do you get the Dr. Mundo Richard Meepo? And then Ririka, it goes without saying, super strong player in the mid lane. So you've got like two pretty scary carry potential players on Wings of Freedom from Ririka and Different.
For sure.
That's
I will
fair.
say
I gotta say
Frozen to the
though,
Core.
I think Alun's team, like, you got the synergy in the bot lane, and I'm telling you, like, their jungler Leaf, that guy puts in so much effort into improving the game. So I mean, that's my boy. That's why I just put Alun's team above Wings of Freedom. But I will say, if it's any, I'll be surprised if it's any other teams besides these two in the finals. I think these two teams are just miles above. I think Bio's team can take a game off. Like, I think they're 3 game merchants, but Pandemonium with his crazy picks will probably be the test of if this team can go farther or they're stuck outside of semis. So yeah.
Well, they're guaranteed giving up a loss if they keep picking Teemo Jungle, so
Ooh.
they've got to be locking in
Didn't
something
have to
else.
say that. You didn't have to say that. It's true, but you didn't have to say that.
I don't think it's working out.
Yeah, I think Frozen to the Core's big limiter is literally just their drafting and specifically like where they decide to play around with a lot of their picks. It kind of seems like when they overcook a little bit, they have like every lane have like some sort of strong uh identity. It starts to kind of fall apart. So like if we're picking Teemo Jungle, what niche in the draft does this really fill? And it doesn't really fill anything. We're picking like Olaf into a team where there's a lot of front lines. It's very difficult for him to actually like be able to kill the AD carry, especially when they have like an immobile AD carry like Vayne on the enemy team, like week 2. But I still think Frozen to the Core is a big contender. I want to see them. This is my dark horse pick. I want to see them have an upset and make it to finals. I'm rooting for them. I think Bio has what it takes to be able to shut down better AD carries than him, rank wise. So that might be a little bit of a hot take, but I'm a believer. Cody Pandemonium, banger top set. Bio will hold it down on the bot lane with Norskin. Hamea is Hamea. Kill coin flip.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think that's what FTX really relies on is Haumea either winning the coin flip or Biomatrix winning hard enough. It doesn't matter if Haumea coin flips it.
Yeah.
It's fire.
They've had Hamea mostly on mages, which is good to see, but Hamea's playstyle is like I'm either going 10-0 or 0-10. So the mage picks have kind of been able to rein that in a little bit and keep him playing a little more passive, but still hasn't really been working out when he's off of those mages.
I'm just curious. I think we're pretty in contention with the top 3 teams in the league. What is your 4th team? Like the dark horse? Because for me,
My
it's
fourth-
AFK. To be honest, I think AFK.
For
like,
me, I'm gonna have to give it. I mean,
All right, talk to me, Cena. Talk to me. I need a name. Give me
you know
something.
what? You know what? I'm gonna say it. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna have to give my dark horse to Bone Zone. I'm gonna have to do it.
Okay.
I think AFK are chokers. I think Bone Zone are slightly less of chokers. And if Naki and Zachary can get that ball rolling, I do not see how AFK is going to be able to stop them.
Okay.
fair enough.
Okay.
Bone Zone had a pretty solid game 2 against Frozen to the Core. So that's kind of what I'm basing it off of. But it's like
I think my only issue is they have Majin, so I don't know.
No,
True.
we can't be saying that. We can't be saying that. Majin's doing his best.
I'm getting banned.
He's banned. We shot him. He's gone.
No, he's banning me.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm getting
it's
shot.
okay,
I'm
Ritty.
getting shot. Good.
It's okay,
I'm gonna
Ritty. It
participate.
was nice being on the content team while we were still in the
No.
server.
Yeah, we get to replace him. Ritty will not be here next time.
I flamed him too, bro. I'll be gone too.
That's
Have
good.
fun. Solo podcast.
See, for me, my 4th team is. I'm kind of stumped here because I think Burning Baboons has had some good showings, but I don't think they're my number 4. I think the Bone Zone has had some really good showings, but at the same time, it's very hard to judge them because Mickey Mouse Club did forfeit this week, and I can't really like put that for them if that makes sense.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I feel like based on how the week 1 games went for Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, I don't think this week 2 game would have gone a whole lot better.
That's true. All right, I'm gonna go with Bone Zone. I was between AFK and Bone Zone,
Yeah.
but
Damn, 2
AFK
for
hasn't
1.
been tested.
You've
Yep.
got 2 Bone Zone believers.
Yep, AFK hasn't been tested nearly as much as Bone Zone has, and although Bone Zone didn't get to play their week 2 game, their week 1 game was Frozen to the Core, and I think Frozen to the Core have a very real possibility of just winning it all. And if Zachary just gets to do what Zachary gets to do, I think it's going to be pretty cookie cut a lot of these games. The game that he took over. It was 22 minutes. If he's able to like consistently produce that, especially against like a lot of the top laners in the league, he went against Cody, who's one of our top picks for the top lane. I think he's able to kind of just take over games if he likes to.
15 kills in 22 minutes is such an outstanding performance.
Yep. I mean, not to mention Naki. Although we're talking,
well.
we're glazing, glazing Zachary a little bit, a lot.
We are glazing Zachary a lot, but Naki absolutely put Luton in the dirt this game.
Yep. I mean, the game 3, the only reason that fell apart is because Naki was playing into a Lulu and they just weren't able to make the Nat assassinations that they needed to. Naki was playing like perfectly deathless until like the last 2 minutes of the game, in which the game just ended. As soon as Naki managed to go down to Cody, that was it. So I gotta go with Bone Zone. I'm also going with Bone Zone here. Cena's got a good pick.
Now my which is a pleasant surprise given my initial reaction after draft phase was to put Bone Zone pretty low on the tier list. But like it seems that was completely unfounded and I should give these guys a little bit more respect. I just think that the top mid jungle does have to put in a bit of extra legwork to kind of make up for, I feel, a little bit of a weakness in the bot lane. But
Majin is good at being able to kind of neutralize his lane and play that passive, that just go even kind of style. That would let his
Yeah.
top lane kind of go. But with Romeo, it's a little awkward since he does kind of feel a little coin flippy depending on the champion he's
Yeah.
on. I
That's mainly what I'm talking about, is keeping Romeo from having that kind of
the
Galio
10
level
deaths.
game where it's just kind of over from the start.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so that's gonna finish it up here from us. We got our tier list. We went through every game. Can't wait for Wings of Freedom to win it all. Just saying, they're winning this. But I want Frozen in the Court put up a good fight. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys, Ritty and Cena, for being here with me. And
Good
we'll
to be
see you
here.
next time.